Okay, grade 11s. This is page 64 from the JPEGD workbook. So this is a solid geometry question, as it's the question on the left hand side. So I'll just quickly read through the instructions. We are given the front view and the top view of a right regular triangular pyramid, and we're also given a cutting plane AA. So we are given two views. This is the top view, this is the front view, because solid geometry is always in first angle orthographic projection. So the view at the bottom is the top view, and then this one is the front view. And we're also given the cutting plane there. It's labeled AA, so this is our cutting plane. That means we'll cut this pyramid right there. Instructions: draw to scale 1:1. So we have to draw this four views. We have to draw the given front view, a sectional top view, a sectional left view, and the true shape of the cut surface. Okay, we have to show all necessary constructions. No hidden detail is required. Okay, so already I've drew the front view, but the front view is incomplete. I have to add the cutting plane, and I drew the top view in light construction. Why? Because obviously we have to draw a sectional top view. So obviously the top view should be drawn cut, because here we are given the top view and this top view is not cut, right? So I have to draw my top view in light construction first, and then I'll just project the points from the cutting plane from the front view down to this section, to this view here, so that I can just draw the cut surface, right? Okay, so first of all, obviously you have to draw the triangle, and then after drawing this triangle, you have to add the XY line, and then you just project all the points up, and then you draw the front view. They gave us all the measurements. Obviously the sides of the triangle is 55 and the height of the pyramid is 74, right? Okay. So now I'll just complete my front view by adding the cutting plane, because we have the cutting plane there. So we are given that the cutting plane is at an angle of 60 degrees, and obviously the line cuts the edge, this vertical edge there, and we are given the height of that point. So obviously I'll measure 35 going up on that line, and then I'll just draw the cutting plane at an angle of 60. Okay, so I will measure 35 from the base going up, mark a point there, and then obviously I will use my 30 by 60 set square to draw the cutting plane there. So I'll just add the cutting plane right there, like that. Then I label this cutting plane A. Okay, so this is the complete front view. So now I can just mark off the front view there. So I'm done with the first view. So now I'll try to draw the sectional top view. Obviously I'll have to use the cutting plane, because the moment you see this word sectional, that means that view must be drawn cut. So obviously now I'll have to draw the sectional top view. So first of all, I'll have to check where does the cutting plane cut this solid. So it cuts the solid from here. This is our first point, our second point, and our third point, right? Okay, so before I project the points down, I'll have to label the points from this top view. So I'll start with this point right here. I can say this is point T, it's the top point, and then obviously from the base I have 3 points there, so I can just say this is point number 1, point number 2, and this is point number 3. So I labeled all the points there. So I'll have to label the same points from our front view there. So obviously point number 1 is right there, so this point is point 1, and point 3 is this one here, and point 2 is this one, right? and T is that point up there, so this is our point T. Perfect. So now I can just project the points from the cutting plane down to the top view. So remember, I'm trying to draw the cut surface. I'll start with the cut surface of the top view. So obviously I have to check where does the cutting plane cut this solid. So I'll start with this point at the bottom there. So this is the base of the pyramid, right? And from here I have line 1 2, because there's a line from 1 to 2, and I also have line 1 3. How do I see that? I can see that there's a line from point 1 straight to point 2, and there's a line from point 1 straight to 3. That means here I have two lines at the same line there, right? So what I have to do is I have to project this point to line 1 2. This is our first point of the cut surface, and obviously I have to project the same point down to line 1 3. So this is our second point of the cut surface, right? Okay, and then now I'm done with this point, I move to the second one. But now if you check this edge, this line T3, where is it from our top view? Line T3 is right there, so it's impossible for me to project this point to our top view there, because this line is vertical and also this line is vertical. But now what I can do is I can just use one of these two lines, T2 or T1, to project this point to our top view. How? So I can just project this point horizontally to this line T2, right? That means now I have a point there, right? I'll project that point down to line T2 from the top view. So line T2 is there, so I can just project that point down to line T2, and then that means I have a point. But remember, I'm trying to get this point on line T2, right? Not line T2, sorry, line T3. Where is T3? T3 is right there, so that means I have to project this point now to line T3 using what? A compass. So I'll just put my compass there at point T to that point there, and then I just project this point to line T3, just like that. So this is our point on line T3. So this point is right there, right? Okay, so I'm done with this point. I move to the last point. So this point, obviously the cutting plane here cuts line T2 right there. So line T2 is right there. So I'll have to project that point to line T2. So that means I have a point there. Alright, so now I'm done. Obviously here I have only one line T2, so I have 1 point there. So now I have to connect the points. So this is our cut surface, so I can just draw those lines there, just connect the points. Like that. So this is our cut surface, so I will have to obviously hatch that shape. So I can just take my set square and hatch this surface. Okay, so I'm done hatching the cut surface. So now remember, we have cut the solid here, and obviously when we cut the solid here, for us to see the cut surface from the top view, we have to remove this portion here, for us to see the cut surface, right? So that means this points now, those 2 points are cut out. We are left with this lower portion here, so we have to draw this lower portion on our top view there, right? So obviously point 1 is removed, is no longer there. So let me just do like this. I'll just highlight the portion that is cut out there using my highlighter there. So this part of the solid is cut out. That means we'll just ignore that part. Our focus will be this on this remaining part. So obviously we still have point 3, point 2, and also this points from the cut surface, right? So that means I'll just only draw these lines on our top view, like that, and also this one. One there. Okay, so this is our sectional top view. This is the complete sectional top view there. And now I'll just proceed to our next view. So I can just mark off view number 2, which is the sectional top view. Then now I'll move to the sectional left view. So now the question is, where am I going to draw the sectional left view? Remember, the solid geometry is in first angle orthographic projection. So because now I have the front view there, so the left view will be drawn on the right, on our right hand side. Why? Because solid geometry is in first angle orthographic projection. But if I was supposed to draw the right view, that means I was going to draw the right view on our left hand side, and then obviously the top view will be at the bottom. So now I'll draw the sectional left view this side. So now what I have to do is I'll have to add an XY line. So I have to label this one. I forgot to label this XY line. Okay, so now I'll have to add the vertical XY line. So I'll just measure 10 millimeters from there. Then I just draw the XY line there. So this is X2, Y, no, I can just say this is X1, not 2, X1, Y1, right? Okay. And then I can just add my 45-degree line there. Like that. Okay, so now because I'm drawing the sectional left view, it will be much easier for me to project all the points from this top view to this side using this 45-degree line. So what I'll have to do is, obviously I always start with the whole view in light construction. So now I'll just project the points from our top view, like point T, point 1, 2, and 3, so that I can just draw our left view in light construction first right there. So what I have to do here, I'll have to project all the points to our 45-degree line there. Point T, remember, is here. So I'll just project the point to our 45-degree line, and also point 3, like that. And then from there I have to project those points up there, and then point T will be up there, and point 3 is our base, so it's there. So here now we have 2 points, right, because point 1 and 2, they're on the same line. So here I have point 1 and point 2, and then this line is for point 3, and obviously this one is T is right there at the top. Then now I can just connect these points in light construction. Remember, we have to draw this view cut as well, so that's the reason why I'm drawing the view in light construction first, so that I can just project the points from the cutting plane. But if I want to make my life easy, I can just project the points from the top view there, the points of the cut surface. So it's up to you. You can project the points from the cutting plane from the front view to those lines, or you can just project these points from the top view to this view here. So for line T2, obviously T2 is there. T2, there is a point there, so I can just project that to line T2 from our left view. So that means that cut surface will start there. So this is our first point. T1, remember, is there, so the cutting plane is not cutting anything there because that part is cut out. So I'll move to T3, line T3, there's a point there, so I have to project that point to our line T3 from our left view. So we have a point there, so this is our point, and we also have this point there. This point is between point 1 and 3, so obviously I have to project that point as well to there. So obviously line 1 3 is at the bottom there, 1 3 is there, so that point will be just there, right? So I've projected all the points. I do have all the points. If you check from our front view, this point there, where is it? Is right there, right? And we have, so we also have that point is right there, and this point is over there. So how many points do we have? We have 1 2 3 4. So here we have 1 2 3, and then what about this point? So that means we have to project this point as well. This point is between line or between point 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, they're right there, so that means that point will be there, right? So that point will be there. So now I have 4 points. I can just connect the points. So now I can just draw in our cut surface there. Just like that. Then now I'll just hatch the surface. Okay, so this is our cut surface. So now we have to draw the remaining portion. Remember, we're looking from this direction from our left side. So for us to see this cut surface, we have to remove this portion, and then that means we'll be left with this portion here, right? So now we have to draw in the remaining portion on our left view. So obviously we have that line, that edge, from 3 to that point, so that means it's this edge. So I'll have to draw that in from that point going down, and we also have that edge from 2 going up. It's from 2 going up to that point, right? And we also have what, those are the only edges that we have, so I can also draw that in from the base just to complete the view. So this is our sectional left view. Now I will have to move to our last view, which is the true shape. So I can mark off the sectional left view. So now we have to draw the true shape of the cut surface. So where is our cutting plane? Our cutting plane is right there. So now what I have to do is I have to project the points from the cutting plane up, but now obviously those lines must be perpendicular to the cutting plane. So I'll put my ruler like that on the cutting plane, and I put this one down here, and then I'll just slide this set square a little bit down, okay, so that I can put my set square there to project that point. So I'll project that first point there. The second point, we have only 3 points on the cutting plane, and also have that point there, right? Okay, so let me just add the XY line there. So now I'll just slide this one to there, and then add the XY line there. So this will be our X2, Y2. Okay, so now it's up to you. You can choose the top view or the left view, but I'll just go for the top view. So I have to project the distances from the top view, the distances of the points of the cut surface from here to this section, right? So I can just use my compass. I'll start with this point. From this point, we have 2 points from the top view, so I have to measure those distances from the XY line to the first point there. So obviously I take the distance from the XY line to the point, and then now I'll put my compass there, because obviously I have to use the same line. So put my compass there, mark a point there, right? Okay, and then I'm done with this point. I move to the second point. Now I'll have to open my compass. I put my compass the same line, XY line, open my compass to that point there. Obviously these 2 points, they're on the same line, so I'll put my compass on my X2, Y2 line, mark a point there. So that means I have the 2 points there, okay, and then I'm done with this point. I move to that point. From that point I only have 1 point, right? So I'll just measure the distance from the XY line to that point there, but now that means I'll have to use this line. So that means I'll put my compass on the X2, Y2 line, mark a point there. So this is our point. Done with this point, I move to the last one. From there, obviously I have only 1 point as well, so I'll just take the distance from the XY line to the point there. Then now I'll use that line, then I mark a point there. So this is the point. So now what I have to do, I have to connect the points. So this is our true shape of the cut surface. So I have to just connect the points like that, and then I can just hatch the surface there. Okay, so this is our true shape. I can just label that view. True shape. This is our sectional top view. Sectional top view. Just label this 2 at the top there. So this is our front view. This is our sectional. Left view. Okay, so this is our complete drawing for this question.